Today, we're tackling a story that has shaken the most powerful people in the world, the case of Jeffrey Epstein. It's a truly unbelievable saga of insane wealth, a hidden network of crime, and a whole lot of questions that just won't go away.
So where do you even begin with a story this twisted? Well, you have to start at the end, the very strange end. How does a man who holds secrets that could topple giants end up dead, all alone in one of America's most secure jails? I mean, his death wasn't an ending to the story at all. It was like a bombshell went off, turning what was already a horrifying criminal case into this massive global conspiracy theory, like overnight. Okay, so the official story, suicide. But you just have to look at the details. The cameras outside his cell? Oh, they just happened to be malfunctioning that night. The two guards who were supposed to be checking on him every 30 minutes? Yeah, they were asleep. They later admitted to faking the records. And get this, he had just been taken off suicide watch, even after a recent, let's say, incident. It's such a perfect storm of coincidences, it practically screams, look closer.
Right, so who was this guy at the center of it all? To really get your head around the scale of his crimes, you've got to understand the crazy empire he built to hide everything.
On the surface, Epstein had this almost unbelievable story. He goes from being a math teacher to some kind of Wall Street wizard, managing fortunes for billionaires like Leslie Wexner, the guy behind Victoria's Secret. He had the mansions, a massive 75,000-acre ranch, luxury apartments, the whole nine yards. But that was all just a cover. The horrifying reality was that he was a predator, using all that money and power to run a huge criminal enterprise. In the absolute center of this dark world was Little St. James, his 72-acre private island in the Caribbean. I mean, to the public, it was this luxury paradise. But people who went there talk about really strange things, like a weird temple-like building and rumors of underground tunnels, all of it wired with security cameras. This was supposedly the hub for his worst crimes.
And how did all his powerful guests get to this so-called paradise? Well, he had his own private jet, a Boeing 727. It became so notorious for what it was used for that the media gave it a pretty grim nickname, the Lolita Express. And this is probably the most crucial part to understand. Epstein wasn't some lone wolf. His real power wasn't just his money. It was his connections. This massive network was his shield. It's the reason he was able to get away with his crimes for decades, a lot of the time right out in the open. And when we say powerful, we mean powerful. We're talking flight logs showing former President Bill Clinton flew on that jet at least 26 times. Donald Trump was a friend and neighbor back in the 90s. And of course, Britain's Prince Andrew, whose association cost him millions and his royal titles. You've got tech billionaires, Hollywood stars, the list is just staggering. So that leads to the big, dark question at the heart of all this, right? Why? Why would so many powerful people hang out with a guy like this? Was it really just friendship? Or was something much, much darker going on? Well, when the FBI raided his properties, they found stacks and stacks of CDs and photos. This is what fueled the huge theory that Epstein was systematically blackmailing his powerful guests. The idea is that he recorded their activities to guarantee they'd stay silent and play along. Now, to be clear, no official client list has ever been confirmed, but that possibility of blackmail, it just hangs over this entire case. So, with all of this going on, you're probably asking, where was the justice system? Well, for years, it completely, and I mean spectacularly, failed to hold him accountable. The road to any kind of justice was just incredibly long and full of failures. It started way back in 2005 with one incredibly brave victim, Courtney Wild. But instead of serious prison time, Epstein got this secret and totally infamous sweetheart deal in 2008. It wasn't until a full decade later, when an investigative report blew that deal wide open, that the system was finally forced to act, leading to his rearrest in 2019. And you want to hear about that sweetheart deal? He was sentenced to 18 months in a county jail, but only served 13. And even then, he was given work release, which let him leave the jail for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It wasn't a punishment. It was a vacation. After Epstein's death, all eyes turned to his chief accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. She was a British socialite, daughter of a media tycoon. And she wasn't just some bystander. Prosecutors and victims called her the mastermind of the whole operation, the one who used her charm and status to recruit, groom, and traffic vulnerable young girls for Epstein. And in a contrast that really shows how much the world had changed, In 2022, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. 20 years. Compared to Epstein's first slap on the wrist, it was a world of difference. It felt like finally, some real justice was being served for a key player in this network. So Epstein's dead, Maxwell's in prison. You might think the story's over, right? Well, not even close. The truth is, it is far from over. For one, there's been a measure of financial justice. A compensation fund was created from Epstein's huge estate, and it's paid out over $121 million to more than 150 of his survivors. It's a way of acknowledging their suffering in a very real way. And the story just keeps unfolding. Court-ordered releases of documents, what people call the Epstein files, are slowly pulling back the curtain. And while a lot has been unsealed, there are still over 1 million pages waiting to be released. Just think about that. More names and more details are still to come. I think this leaves us with a really crucial takeaway. The whole Epstein saga is a chilling reminder of how wealth and influence can be used to hide unimaginable evil. But it's also a testament to the courage of survivors and the relentless pursuit of the truth. It shows that while power can delay justice, it can't deny it forever. And the question that remains for all of us is, what other secrets are still waiting in those unreleased files?